You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
Kevin, you do a lot of work on the draft. And you, a couple of weeks ago, put out your annual rankings that, well, why don't you explain how you find your consensus and how you come to the ranking?
Yeah, so it starts with, originally I had kind of a projection that was based strictly on the players' statistics, which are from, college, major international leagues. And then also a few years ago, I added the Nike EYU BL AAU tournament to add some more data for some of the top prospects, which is really useful for someone like Shadon Sharp, who didn't play at Kentucky at all, but did play in EYBL last summer. So, we do at least have some data to go by on him against, reasonably high level competition. So based on that, how they project to the NBA next season, based on past players and then their age, there's a projection for how valuable they're going to be more or less over their first 5 seasons in the league. And then the consensus projection also factors in where they're ranked in Jonathan Givony's top 100 rankings for us at ESPN, since if you look at where a player is drafted, which matches up pretty well with Jonathan's top 100, that tends to be a very valuable predictor of how well they're going to play in the league. So, it's much closer to the draft board when you include the consensus model, although still it does differ to some degree, as you mentioned earlier, because of the fact that not everyone performs exactly like their rating in the minds of scouts.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's the Sizzle in the building with some more hotness. You know who's here. Jay Sizzle's in the building. I'm G Sizzle, and we've got to talk about the NBA draft.
It's about time.
It's that time. It's the holiday of holidays. The NBA draft.
What pick the Bulls got?
18th.
Glad it's not number 4.
You probably find a better player. You know what, bro? Can we? I was going to just start off with the top 3. You can start off with your guys, but since you just want to ruin it just from the get-go, so let's just talk about the Bulls real quickly.
Do we have them?
Yeah, because what are you going to get with the 18th pick from college right now? I hear all these wonderful young people they're talking about bringing out, and all of the young people all sound like Patrick Williams. It all sounds kind of, is all 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". They're all hybrid forward swings, trying to be 3, but they have no D, or maybe they got D with no 3. It's a lot of young people. And my theory is this, Jay, after you get past pick 3 in the NBA draft, everything else sucks. That's what I say. Yeah. Everything else sucks. It's all marginal to me. It's all marginal. But okay, let's go through some quick things. So let's do a little housekeeping. The Portland Trail Blazers just traded for Jeremy Grant. So they're trading their first round pick in 2025.
Yeah, everybody's giving the first round picks.
Detroit Pistons. And now you've got the Portland Trail Blazers who are looking to get OG from Toronto and then make this thing great again. And they can't beat nobody in the West.
They don't do that.
They can't beat anybody in the West. And you've got a rumor out here, nasty rumor, that you've got the Jaden Ivey sweepstakes. That everybody wants Jaden Ivey except Sacramento, which kind of makes sense to me, but that's just me. I mean, I don't know why you would want another De'Aaron Fox, but hey, so everybody's trying to find him, but the one team hunting Jaden Ivey down is the New York Knicks. Tom Thibodeau wants him on that squad. Tom Thibodeau needs him on that squad.
Yeah, I can see that.
Thibodeau says
everyone has to do their job. Do your job.
That's what he wants. He wants everybody to do their job, except for Derrick Rose, because he's an injured player on the field. I don't know, Jay. I don't know, man. So let's look at these top 3 picks. Top 3 picks. It's been pretty much a consensus since the beginning of this draft process that you've got Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, and Paolo Banchero.
Yeah.
Jay, let me ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Do you see any of these three making an immediate impact in the league once they come in?
I think the guy who's actually going to make some impact if he can stay healthy is Holmgren. I think he's that old school guy who can work around the paint, that he's going to make you have to guard down there. And this league is not built upon bigs anymore. So you actually have a big who could actually score. You actually saw what happened with the Celtics with Williams. You see what happened with Golden State when you get a Looney or somebody like that inside. These guys can make a little hay. And Chet Holmgren is actually a guy who can actually score on the inside. You see Nikola Jokic, right? Player of the year. You saw what he's able to do on the inside. Is he a big that can drag somebody outside and shoot the three ball? Only problem with Holmgren, they just don't know, because he is not that fleet of foot, but he's very, very good. Can that translate over into the NBA? I think he can, but we're going to probably look up and see Jabari Smith out of Auburn. Yeah, Smith out of Auburn, because he just has all the tools. I don't think he's going to be super splash. I think Jaden Ivey probably has more of a chance, because he has more of a polished game for the NBA. He is a one-on-one isolation player that he can break people down off the dribble. I think you're going to see him being able to do that. I think that's going to translate, even though we saw him fall apart against some stiff competition when they got into NCAAs. Everybody was surprised that the Purdue sophomore wasn't able to produce like he needed to. But again, I think he's the most NBA ready guy. So I really say out of the group, we will fall out of the top three. I'll probably go to 4 Sacramento Kings and say Jaden Ivey's going to be the guy who's going to be the most productive out of this group.
It's funny, you're looking at the group, and I'm just going back through my list. A lot of guys. Somebody's going to fall down here and have an impact somewhere later in the rounds. I think the one guy that's going to be impactful when we talk about old man game is going to be Keegan Murray. He's the one that when you see his old man game, when you see what he and his twin brother were able to do, and together they were a fearsome twosome. Yeah, they were a terrible twosome together, but now we'll see him by himself. And the question is, at this point, what are they going to get from someone like Keegan? He's not really fleet of foot. We just said that about Holmgren. He's not very athletic, but he's got an old man game. He's got he's like the child of if Paul Pierce and Carmelo Anthony had a child together, it would be Keegan Murray.
Well, the key to this is that you need guys, when they have opportunity to score around the basket, they actually score. I mean, you have all these guys who are creators, and they can come through and do the dipsy doos and all this type of stuff, but they don't put the ball in the basket at a high clip from 2. You got to score, especially now the way these teams are shooting the 3 ball now, is that if you start looking at this, the NBA is now set up that if you shoot a high percentage from 3-point, your opponent has to shoot at least 50% or above from 2. So you have to have a team that can punch the ball down low, and a guy can get you a basket or get you the line. Because if you don't, the way the NBA is constructed right now, they're going to shoot you out the gym. A lot of Warriors, a lot of the Houston Rockets used to be, and these other guys. If you live by the sword, you die by the sword in the NBA. But we've seen these teams who shoot a lot from outside. They get deep into the playoffs. But you got to be able to score from inside. And I think these big guys are going to be a resurgence coming back. If you can't stop a 7-footer on the inside, then you got problems. They'll just keep dumping it down, and you're going to be deep into your bench early into the game.
I like players like Abaji. I like some of those guards. I like Johnny Davis. I like some of those combo guards. Their swings, they're good shooters, but they're a dime a dozen. When you get to the league and you're talking about men who have NBA prototype bodies, there the question lies is, can you get bigs who can move on their feet? And I see a lot of bigs who are able to move on their feet. But one of the things we talked about earlier, and we talked about the Bulls, is you have a lot of teams at the back end of the giraffe who need specialty players. They need somebody who can come in and do some things specifically that they don't have on their roster. So let's take the Bulls, for example. It's a lot of talk about the Bulls right now looking to trade Kobe White and move him along with the pick. And you've already gotten Jeremy Grant off the board. You've already gotten Christian Wood off the board. So there's some things going around. There's this report supposedly about Rudy Gobert in the 18th pick. I can't see it happening. I don't see you trading Rudy Gobert for the 18th pick and Kobe White. And then there's fear of trading Patrick Williams. I have no idea.
I don't understand. What are they especially Bulls glasses that you have to look at a player through, that they just see this depth and he's so this, that I don't see it. Mm-hmm. I just don't see it. We're what? Are we 4 years in now with him now?
Three. I believe this is.
I don't see it with Patrick Williams. I just don't. And he better not wear them leprechauns this year, because I am going to blast him if he wears them leprechauns. I'm going to get him. If he wears the leprechauns this year, there's no green in the Bulls uniform. Why is he wearing leprechauns?
Well, I guess he's getting ready for Irish Pride Day.
Yeah, well, maybe so, but don't wear the leprechauns. Wear the other color you want. Don't put the leprechauns on, because the leprechauns mean you feeling yourself, and you should not be doing that. That's a law against that.
Okay, so let's talk about it real quick. Let's jump into the Bulls. So, if you're putting this team together, Jay, and you've got this pick right here at 18. Are you keeping this pick, or are you trying to get some young assets? Because it's like they're playing on both sides of the fence. It's like they want young people, but then you got to win right now when you commit to a Zach LaVine and
a DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
And because DeMar DeRozan is longer too, if you're not going to get the same output this year that you got last year from DeMar DeRozan, you're just not going to get it, right? It still needs to be Zach LaVine's team. I don't know if he can lead this team yet. I don't think so. He went Batman. And then he went Kato later on, where he really wasn't even considered anymore. So now the question has to be, does your 18th pick mean anything? I don't think so. I think you find your 18th pick in the G League, to tell you the honest truth. I mean, I don't see anything past 7 or 8 doesn't really make that much of a difference in the NBA, unless somebody just flashes. You know what I'm saying? So if you can bump the 18 pick somehow and go get Rudy Gobert, well, you need some help down there. Now that gives you some help inside. Now you got a couple of bigs who can make a difference. But right now, you got to get – here's the problem with the Bulls. They're not really good at a position. Either you got to get really good at the guard position, or you got to get really good at the power forward position, or you got to get really good at the power forward center position. That's the reason why a team like Golden State is really good, because they have 2 of the best shooting guards in the league. You need something like that. You need a combo, at least, so you can put pressure on other teams. The Bulls just don't put pressure on anybody. They still don't have any three-point shooter. Until they develop a three-point shooter out here, teams are going to pack the back. Zach LaVine's going to hit a 3-ball every once in a while. And beyond that, Patrick Williams ain't going to do it. So I think you're just looking at a team who right now is going to be fighting with Milwaukee again, and they're going to get slapped around again. And the Bulls are in mid-level hell right now, and I just don't see a way of them getting out. And if they think this 18 pick is going to bring them anything, maybe it doesn't bring them Rudy Gobert, but no, they're going to strip the 18 pick out and take Kobe White, or strip the 18 pick out and take Patrick Williams. That's what it's going to take to get Rudy Gobert. I wouldn't give him up for anything less. So unless the Bears are desperate, I think a lot of you are going to see they're going to go ahead and draft that 18 pick, because there's nobody else for them to trade. They're not giving up. Who else are they going to give up? So mid-level hell, that's the Bulls. Bears too. Mid-level hell.
Well, that's funny. You just said the Bears 18th. The Bears would love to have the 18th pick in the league. That means they're doing some things right at this point. But with the Bulls, if you've got Vooch and you've got this 18th pick, I think now you can start making some moves. Vooch plus the 18th pick will at least get you a good bench player. I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, we're laughing, it's hyperbole, but seriously, to your point, Jay, it's purgatory. It's basketball purgatory.
Yeah, once they screwed and pooch on that 4th pick with that Patrick Williams pick, and they didn't produce for him.
Yeah.
And they're just hoping that it's going to. Once that happened, they were done. They were cooked. They were toast.
Yeah.
It was over. It's over. It's not over. It is over.
Oh, it's over
Well,
for them.
yeah,
You know,
the
it's
Bull-
funny. We were talking about that on the other show when we talked about Golden State. You've got to have two greats. And I said it before to Rich Sizzle. We've talked about it before on and off camera. If you've got a great guard and you got a great forward, be it a small or power, those two combinations will get you into the playoff conversation. If you've got a great, an all-time great, and you've got somebody Golden State wise where you have one of the greatest shooters of all time, the side piece greatest shooter, you got some hard workers, you got a squad. You saw it happen with Milwaukee. You got a forward, and then he got at least a serviceable point guard and was still able to do it. You saw Brooklyn fall apart with no point guard and just I don't want to say that Kevin Durant is not great.
Kevin Durant can't win it by himself. Here's the issue with the Warriors. The Warriors make their other players better because Curry pulls people out to the 3-point line. And now you're going 4 against 4. It might as well be 3 against 3. You got an open court and people are cutting to the basket. That's why you see the Warriors, almost called them Curries. The Warriors get a lot of backdoor layups. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see other teams get those backdoor layups like that. So the Warriors get action that other teams don't get. Now if other teams are trying to copy what the Warriors do, you don't have the greatest shooter in the world. And you don't have the second or third or fourth best shooter in the NBA on your team also. So beyond that, and then the Warriors are so sick, they have the number 1 and 2 best free throw shooters in the league on the same team. So foul them, put them to the line if you want to, and if you don't come out to the 3-point line, they're going to kill you. So the Bulls have none of that, and so that's why they're in purgatory, the 7th circle of hell.
Yeah, it's funny. When you talk about the Golden State Warriors, they forced a lot of Brokeback Mountain action. It's a lot of backdooring. It's a lot of coming in and a lot of hard penetration when they go around and make their cuts. So when you've got a team like that,
after dark.
when you've got a team that can do that, I mean, you've got trouble, buddy. It's a fire back there, and somebody needs to put it out. I'm just saying.
Oh, it got silly now. Somebody hit him with the hose. That's what started the fire. Somebody did hit him with the hose.
You like that? You like that?
Oh my God, it got silly.
So okay. So I'm looking at 3 guys that, and it's funny, we always talk about this. It always happens when we start talking about the draft, which I think we're watching together. So, that's going to be a draft thing where, somebody's going to have to make some spaghetti.
You know what? We might, yeah. You know how I make the spaghetti. Kill a cow. But, it's good spaghetti, bro. You know how I make spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. You know what? If I get, what day is the draft?
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Are you sure?
Yeah, well, the sun will come up tomorrow.
Wow.
That's your bottom dollar.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know draft was. You know what? Jay Sizzle has been just hitting it hard. I thought we had another couple of days. I forgot it was tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you just keep pounding on it. You get it so hard that you forget what's going on. I'm telling you now, Jay Sizzle has been doing his thing.
Yeah,
so,
been doing my thing.
Hey, man, we got to wrap and pretty much put a bow on this. Again, when it comes to the draft, I know so many people are excited. It's a life-changing moment for so many young people where they come in and life-changing money. This is a opportunity of a lifetime. But in the reality of it, the greatest scheme of it, this draft, and I said it, G Sizzle, address all mail to me. I don't see at this point a difference maker. And I know people are going to say, hey, G, what about Dirk? What about Giannis? They were later down 14, 10, 9, somebody in there.
They were developed.
Yeah.
Giannis got developed. Mm-hmm. Curry came in and got developed. You got to get guys who are willing to work. You got guys who are a chip on their shoulder. That's the problem with Ivy. Is Ivy ready to work? You know what I'm saying? To really get his game where it needs to be, because there's only 400 and some change spots in the NBA, and you got to be a bad motor scooter to get in there. So
Right.
You know, we'll see how this all works out.
Yeah, we'll see how it all works out, man. And while we're here, man, we got to do a lot of parting and sweet sorrows, but a lot of rest in pieces to a lot of players, a lot of people. But one that kind of got everybody that threw me off, and I wasn't even ready for it. I saw it, but you know how you see something, and you're like, nah, did I just see what I saw? And I saw one of the dudes that I thought was one of the greatest, I can't even say party animal. He was like the greatest defensive lineman of all time to me, outside of Reggie White. I don't want anybody, I don't want any hate mail because I love Reggie White. But when you lose the goose, Syracuse, Tony Syracuse, I mean, it changes. It makes you look at life a little different.
Yeah, too early, man. 55 is too early for the Goose to go.
Yeah.
You know, but you see a lot of NBA players and NBA and NFL players, you know, they start going a little bit early. So you always wonder what that is from, you know, but nobody knows the appointed day and time.
Right.
So it's just one of those situations where you know, rest in peace and you know, just sad. I mean, we had a lot of local people pass. Shout out to Marco Hughes' family here, local guy here that just passed recently, and condolences to his family. He was a good man. Did a lot of good things in his life, and it's just, you know, living and dying are part of the matrix of life.
Right.
And you know, we just don't know when. You got to live every day like you know, it means something to you. You know, we don't get do-overs around here. So yeah, it's just been tough out here. You got the young fella. What's the young fella? 25-year-old died too.
Caleb Swellingen.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That was crazy too. Like, wow, we don't really know the circumstances of that. I don't think that's out yet. So
no, we don't know the full extent. And
yeah,
and rest in peace to John Moon McMullen, long sports writer, long sportscaster in the Chicagoland area. It's just so many people, man, and we're praying for so many families. We're still praying for the families in Buffalo. We're praying for the families in Texas. We're praying.
Yeah.
It's so much that's going on in this world. And one of the good things is we have sports as a respite, but it also is the thing that connects us and leads us down the road and
absolutely
to healing. So, you know.
Jay, let's get to this. Beyond the top three, who do you think is the next most NBA-ready player?
Well, JJ mentioned him. I think it's Jaden Ivey, but at number 4, but also Keegan Murray at 5. Keegan Murray from Iowa is probably the one player you can plug into an NBA team today and put him out on the floor and feel really comfortable. He can operate out of the post, the mid post. You know, you hesitate to say he's ambidextrous, but he uses either hand, and he actually favors his left hand around the basket. Shot 55% from the field, good three-point shooter. I liken him kind of to a more athletic, bigger, longer Malcolm Brogdon because he's just so solid. I mean, he's not going to, you know, lead Instagram or SportsCenter top 10s in spectacular plays, but he makes the right play over and over again so often that his numbers at the end of the game are absolutely spectacular. I'm a big fan of Murray's. Who knows? He may be taken 6th or 7th because, you know, Ben Mathurin of Arizona is said to be rising up, and you've got Shaden Sharp out of Kentucky and Dyson Daniels out of the G League that are all really attractive long-term prospects. But with Keegan Murray, you're getting a guy you can plug in today and play.
Thank you for listening to The Sizzle, the hottest sports talk in the 219, here on Iron Skillet Television and Iron Skillet Radio.